What up, you weirdos? Dave here, and I like knives, and here to talk to you today about the Schrade 306. And just to give context for this, when I woke up this morning, looked at my schedule, and saw that this video was supposed to be made today, groaned to high heaven. Blade of 3.5 inches, handle length of 4.5. A width of 1.5 and a depth of over 1/2 of an inch. And I don't talk about weight very often, but this sucker ain't small. I think this weighs more than my ZT350. Let's see, there's a Leatherman wave around here somewhere. It's comparable in weight to a Leatherman wave. How ridiculous. I apologize for the slamming of drawers, but this thing does not make me happy. Blade of 9CR18 MOV steel and handle scales of aluminum. What's great about this? What is great about this knife is I didn't put actually the blade shape I'm a fan of. It keeps its grind all the way up and has a little bit of a drop point. It has a very nice belly, good point, good belly, with a flat surface back here at the back. It is useful for all kinds of things. What's also great is the lock. As you can see right there, there is plenty of cutout there. So you can very easily access it, close it. This lock bar is very user-friendly. And as I am a user and appreciate things being friendly, that makes me happy. On to the rest of this. Handle. This is egregiously thick. This is ridiculously thick. They made this handle, it looks like they thought they were making a ZT or a Medford, or let's make an overbuilt tank that you can use in the wilds to cut a cliff out of granite. And what that ends up making it is super, super heavy and super, super thick and nigh on unpocketable. Absurd. Plus the Schrade not inlay there, that actually is textured, so you can hear me scratching on that. That stands up off the handle. There's a little bit of design work here, but where's something I can point with? My pen. There we go. But as you may be able to see right there, like there's a shadow line. These lines barely meet. They meet unequally at that screw. This line goes nowhere. That line's uneven. There's a weird bump back here. The paint is starting to scratch off. This is absurd. And on the back, it is not actually equal. That's hilarious. The action, I bought this because when I saw it at REI, the box said ball bearings and super smooth opening, and that was back in my wee little days of 6 months ago when I thought that ball bearings were the end-all be-all for making a good action. And I saw that it was tip up only, which makes me happy because that's how I want to buy my knives. So I actually will not, probably, I haven't in a really long time, and I don't see myself doing it soon, buy a knife that is not tip up, except for extreme circumstance. So I saw the pocket clip, and I saw the ball bearings. Yeah. And I said, you know what? Squad, let's get her. You have to fight to open this thing. This is absurd. I don't know what they think they mean by ball bearings. I assume they're in there, because if not, yeah, you can see them. You can see them just barely. But let me say here now, I've learned a valuable lesson in the treachery and deviance of this world. Just because one thing is supposed to be a good thing does not mean that it is always a good thing, because sometimes it can be implemented poorly and therefore make it a bad thing. This is real dumb. The action sucks. And as heavy as the blade is, it doesn't even have false shut ability. You have to shake it real bad. My Kershaw Chill had better action than this. That was on Teflon washers with a blade that weighed half a grape. Handle's garbage, action is garbage. The pocket clip, as I said, is tip up. This makes me happy. It's one position tip up, which I don't actually care about. However, there's no retention in that at all. And I hope you can hear that clicking, because that's just me poking the clip, and what you're hearing is it actually hitting up against the handle. This clip was not actually calibrated correctly, so it is not even touching the handle, and it never has. It did that straight out of the box. I've carried this a handful of times and then realized I don't hate myself that much. The blade, I was able to open at that time, but only a whole lot of force. The blade, the spine of the blade is 90 degrees, which makes it very sharp and unnecessary. This is not a survival knife. Calm down, Schrade. This is not a survival knife. The only reason anything ever needs to be 90 degrees is to throw sparks. That's surely not what you intended to build this for, right? So just don't make the blade 90 degrees, because that hurts. That's sharp. The handle is sharper than the blade. That's not the handle. The spine of the blade is sharper than the blade itself. And also, look at how thick that thing is. That is a tenacious. That is not a 350. Thank you. Alright. Pulling out an actual ZT. An actual workhorse. An actual beast of a beater. It is twice as thick as a 350. Check this. Don't look at the actual blade, because there's a swedge there that makes your eyes lie to you. But check the the jimping area. That is nearly half again as thick as the 350. How absurd is that? That means that not only is this is just poorly made. That's what this boils down to. This is poorly made, and I wasted my money, and this is me ranting about that. Good things. I do like the lock. This has essentially been a learning experience for me, and it's 9CR. I couldn't make it 8. This has basically been a learning experience for me. The ingredients do not make the soup. What I saw when I saw this on the shelf was ball bearings, what I read at the time to be 8CR, turns out it's 9, and ball bearings and tip up. I can't remember if I said either of those. A size that I like. This is a good size. This is a good size for me. The handle is fine, but this clip is far too big, and the inside of this area is actually fairly sharp, so it grabs at the inside of your fingers. When I saw those two elements, I thought, yes, alright, I've never done Schrade on my channel except for the multi-tool. Except for that stupid multi-tool. Tool. But let's get some Schrade up in here. I think I'm gonna love this thing. I saw the ingredients. I did not realize what the soup was. This soup is garbage. Knife Center sells this for $30. Amazon sells it for $27. At REI, I bought it for $30-ish. I can't quite remember because it was a long time ago, and I don't want to remember. So So this is one of those videos that I'm doing just so specifically so that I can then forget this, because that's really all I want in life. These lines are not even on the design on the pivot. That is not a not priority. Proprietary, thank you. That is not a proprietary pivot. By the way, there is a T8 on the back, so they didn't fail that one. These screws are Chicago style, but I doubt they're captive, which means if you turn one side, it'll just turn the other. Just don't. If you're looking for a knife this big, Kershaw has you covered with blades with much higher quality of materials, of execution, and just of general value. Out of 10 stars, I give the Schrade SH306 just to... Oh, once again, check out the sharpening choil. The line of the... What is that? The line of the blade goes right there. The line of the choil goes that direction. And there's still that piece there that is sharpened where it's not supposed to be. And it's barely this. It's not the same on both sides. Not even. Terrible machining. Absolutely terrible machining. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know down below. And other than that, you folks have a great day. Bye.